Good morning. And it's really a good morning. Because y'all, listen to that. Listen to that. I got my house back. I got my house back. I'm going to give y'all some really quick updates about the house. And then we're going to actually continue our conversation from last week. Because when I was rewatching it, I was like, I only have to give, what I have to. I've committed to giving them only 20 minutes. But I missed a lot of stuff. Okay? Good stuff, bad stuff, and different stuff. But I want to make sure that I express myself because, like I said, this shit is therapeutic. Okay. But first, let me just give y'all some quick logistical updates. Let's do some housekeeping stuff. Okay. First of all, like I said, when I first got on here, the house was empty. Not like empty until I finish doing the vlog and maybe somebody gonna walk in while I'm doing the vlog. Not like empty, but somebody in another room and I gotta be a little bit more quiet. Not like empty, but no buts. It's empty. Nobody's here. The man is gone. The kids are gone. I'm here to work by myself. I can do my vlog before 8:30 when my phone turns on, so y'all not hearing my goddamn work from home phone ringing in y'all ears. Like, y'all, I am so fucking happy. Okay, that's the first update about the house. The second update about the house is kind of just like my own observations. Just like I said, I've been talking to y'all. I'm trying to my eyebrows together. Since we talking, I don't have my eyebrows together. We look a mess a little bit. Okay, there we go. Hold on. At least make them in the same family, bitch. These motherfuckers look like distant friends. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. My honey has started his CDL courses from yeah, yesterday. Thank you, water. Yesterday, my honey started his CDL classes, and something that I observed about him that I don't mind expressing to him, but this is not something that we need to talk about, at least not right now, right? He has slacked off so much in his life that this move, I know what y'all thinking. That's the ice machine. I know you like, bitch, you just said we was home alone. We are. That's the ice machine. Um, he has slacked off so much in his life, especially recently, that this move has become like the move. And because this move, like him doing his CDL, him getting his trucking license and all of those things has become like the move, I see all the pressure in his face. Like all yesterday, he was like super restless and tossing and turning. He's barely able to sleep at night. And I'll be honest, even me a few weeks ago, a few months ago, would be trying to find a way to make life more comfortable for him while he's visibly uncomfortable. Me today doesn't want to do that. And I'm not going to do it. I want him and anybody else, and this is not just him personally, who decides that they want to do less than what I believe that they are capable of doing to feel the natural consequence of being a slacker. If he was more intentional about his money, if he was more intentional about his spending, if he was more intentional about his habits, then things will look different in his life. Um, but he's getting them together. And I am proud of him for getting them together. But as he gets them together, I'm not putting my hands on it. Like last night, I could tell he was super anxious, but I was tired. I gave him hugs and kisses. I let him know that I love him. I'm encouraging him for sure. Like, I'm not just like, fuck you, nigga, be on your own. But I'm just like, handle your business. I believe in you. I love you. Good night. Dealing with my shit. That's the update for the house. Is I'm dealing with my shit. Also, y'all, I'm gonna have lunch with myself today. I'm gonna buy myself lunch. My OnlyFans money hit earlier today. Every time I get money for OnlyFans, I do my best not to spend it on that man and his children. Because we're talking about OnlyFans, we're gonna segue right into what we're talking about this week. Cause let's talk about sex, babe. But anyways, whenever I make money on OnlyFans, and those of you who are wondering what does she do on OnlyFans, this week we're talking about sex, so I will talk about my experience with sex work. And we can just start there. We can just start there. um, so as far as sex work is concerned, I can't even put quotes around it. It's sex work. Is concerned. I currently have an OnlyFans page. I mostly dance on there. Like I think maybe two people that are on my OnlyFans have seen like my body. Most of them want like private dances, and I'm usually still dressed like in something like negligee or something like that. Um, and a lot of them, majority of them, just want to talk like, how you doing, you're so beautiful, and the more my brand grows online, I feel like that's more gonna happen. Now of course you're gonna get the person like, let me see your booty hole, and I just be like, $500. If you got $500, you can see the little ass. I done showed broker niggas this booty hole for way less. I done showed the motherfucker this booty hole, and then I'm currently showing a motherfucker this booty hole, and I'm paying for all his bills. Okay, so if a motherfucker want to give me $500 to see this booty, baby, I'm finna tootie. Anyways, um, beyond OnlyFans, and just like kind of getting back what I would consider back onto like the online digital sex work situation. I have also done private dance parties. Kind of like, I'm just here to dance for y'all. That's it. You know what I mean? Like Ebony from Players Club, to just be bluntly honest. I heard the ice machine stop. We might need some water. Let's walk through our empty house and go get some water for our ice machine because we need ice for our lunch. So we do need water. I've done some private parties and things of that sort, and so that I've done like in my early 20s. So I think I've talked to you guys about like my time dancing. That was my time dancing. I did one club, and it was like one night. If I have to be real about it, I did like two real nights at this club. But then a young lady, she kind of propositioned me to do these like private parties, and I'll be honest, the club, it's just sometimes the club be a little, okay, make sure my mic was still on. Sometimes the club be a little, you know what I mean? The club is the club, and girls feeling entitled, this, that, and the third is different. Like I like private events because private events, those folks want you. They are asking for you, they booked you, and so usually they have the budget. Somebody in the room got the budget, okay? And that's way better than kind of trying to hustle around a club from my experience. I also realized that I didn't have as much of a dog, you know what I mean, in me, because while I was doing that form of sex work, I was a middle school teacher, so I'm getting a salary. Like I think I had a girl in the club tell me that before. Like I heard somebody tell me to say that you're a teacher. Like, no, I don't mean to say it like this, but you really don't need to be here. And she wasn't wrong. Like, I don't need to be there. Like, what am I doing? Like, there are people who leave here and they don't have any other options. If it wasn't a good night that night, it wasn't a good night for them. For me, I just like sex work. I'll be very honest about that. Like, I like being sexy. I like being desired. I like turning people on. I like teasing people. I like the energy. I like the attention. I like it. I like being a sex worker. And that honestly for me was really difficult to admit because I feel like there's so much negativity around it, right? There's so much like negative connotation around sex work. Like so many people make you feel like you have no worth. But it's just like, how do I not have worth, but the men who probably spend money that should have been in their kids' mouths do? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to over talk about sex work, but that's my experience with sex work, and it's an ongoing experience. And then when I met my current partner, I was just very upfront with him and letting him know that like I actually want to do this. Like I could see myself doing this for more than just play. You know what I mean? Like are you okay with me doing it? And I was really surprised that he was okay with the fact that I wanted to do sex work. I did not think that he would be okay with that. Sometimes I still don't think that he's fully okay with it. I feel like he doesn't want me to feel bad. He doesn't want me to feel upset. And I give him so many freedoms and allow him to do so many things that I feel like he's doing his best to be okay with it. But my man really don't even like when we go to poly events and people hug me for too long, I could kind of see his jaw kind of like, you know what I mean, tense up. So he's not at all, in my opinion, as free as I am. Like I'm super free. Like a woman could walk up and grab him, grab him by the nuts, so to speak, and I wouldn't flinch at it, especially unless he didn't want it. Now, if it was an unwanted touch, then I'm gonna, get in mama bear mode to protect my man, because I see my man as my baby. I'll be honest about that. I'm not Mariah the Scientist. Daddy, am I your baby? No, Daddy is my baby. But that's just how that works over here, okay? But like, if he wasn't upset about it, it wouldn't bother me. But I can tell that whether I am upset or not, if somebody kind of get a little too affectionate with me, I could kind of see it on his face that he'd be like, okay. Which doesn't really bother me. I actually like the obsession. I like the obsession. And I haven't gotten to the point where I desire sex with somebody outside of him other than women. And he's been pretty cool with me having sex with other women. Once I get to the point that I desire sex with other men, we'll see what happens. I'm just not at that point yet, so I don't need to think about it. But I know that it's not a far-fetched idea. Like I'm not a woman who has ever really just had sex with one person in my life. Like this is the smallest amount of people that I has ever been just like consistently having sex with in my life. I love sex, y'all, and let me say this. Have I experienced unwanted touch in my life? Yes. Have I experienced sexual assault in multiple ways in my life? Yes. Did that change my sexuality and my connection with sex itself? No. And if I have to be honest, I have always had the sexual exploration within me even before those unfortunate things happened. If anything, those unfortunate things just made me be a little bit more selective, which is why when I sit back and think about it, I've had sex with the same like 3 or 4 people for the last like 10 years of my life. And then I broke it off with most of them, and now I'm just having sex with this person. Well, the last 10 years of my life before meeting Gucci. And so the last 6 years of my life, I've really just only been having sex with him. And sprinkled in there is like, a woman or two that either we've engaged with together or I've engaged with on my own. But truthfully, I don't have a lot of sex with other people because of my experience with sexual assault, because of my experience with unwanted touch. Honestly, because of my experience with not being fully pleased by most people that I've had sex with, I actually love masturbation. I think last week I talked to you guys about the fact that like I'm not mad that my man is in the house because he get on my nerves. Or I don't like him, or I'm getting fed up with him, or I'm ready to break up with him. I legit miss waking up in the morning and giving myself a nice good orgasm before I go to work and deal with these people and their dumbass attitudes, which I did earlier today. Clock that too. Um, but honestly, even as a single woman, like don't get me wrong, like I said, I have my nice little roster. So when me and my roster wanted to see each other, we saw each other. Okay. Okay. But honestly, like I am the type of girl who will watch a good, adult film, give myself a couple of rounds of madness, okay, and go to bed, and I'll be just fine. Like I don't need to cuddle, and if I do need to cuddle, I used to sleep in the bed. Like before I slept in the bed with Gucci, I slept in the bed with like 80,000 fucking stuffed bears, and so it was just cuddled all over the place for me. um, but that's just what I've been on. Like I don't know why I'm so isolated. I just sat back here and thought about that. Like I'm sitting here talking to y'all about sex, but I realized like I really don't like people. Like people say shit like that. People like I don't like people. I can't stand people. I am a people person who doesn't like people. which makes my high sex drive hard because I have sex. We're good. I be fucking the shit out of people. And people be thinking I want to be with them. You know what I mean? When you fuck somebody like that, they be thinking that you in love. I'm not in love. I'm horny. I am not in love. I'm horny. And let's just keep it at that. I think that's the reason why. And I feel like a bunch of vlogs away, I talked to you guys about a young man who I had sex with. And what I'll say is this young man was one of the most memorable sexual partners I've ever had in my life. Number one, because ice machine, because he was damn near 7 feet tall. So the man was a giant. Second of all, his height wasn't the only big thing about him. 14. And we used to have sex like we were in love. And we'll walk away from each other like, okay, you have a good one, you have a good one, and was cool. If I could have kept fucking that man for the rest of my life, I would have. I would have. You go do what you want to do. I go do what I want to do. We get together. When we laid up in that bed, baby, you would think we had feelings for each other, but we don't. Well, we've never admitted to it. I won't say we don't, but we've never admitted to it. And honestly, I personally did not have romantic feelings for him. I enjoyed him as a person because he was also a teacher. And so he understood a lot of things about me. And I understood, I respected his manliness. Like, there are men in this world that are just a man. Like, some men, they have to walk around and have to say, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man, because they know they fucking up, right? He was the type of man who had that quiet power. Like, I could only imagine what he looked like in his classroom with his students. Like, he was so calm. Like, my life was so chaotic. I was a teacher, I was a dancer, I was heavily involved in the things going on in my family. When I would come in that man's house, he would take my purse, my phone. First, make sure you good. You got all your calls ready. You told whoever you need to tell that you here. You here. He would take my phone, my keys. One thing I hate about wearing black is all this went. Put it to the side. Walk me through his house. Lay me in his bed and lay me out, bitch. Lay me out. And baby, when I tell you that man used to motherfucking calibrate my motherfucking screws. But that's what sex does for me. Like, really, really good sex does that for me. And I've told my partner stories about this young man, of course. And obviously my partner doesn't have a 14-inch penis. Very few men in this world have a 14-inch penis. Another reason why I didn't want to be with this man for the rest of my life. I'm not having sex with that every day. 14 inches. But I be trying to tell my man because I know he harps on the fact that it was 14. But I'm like, it was 114 in a sea of like everybody else with all the other sizes. But he's like, yeah, but you had that. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand that my love for sex has nothing to do with the size of that man's member. Because I wasn't fucking the whole 14 of that. I was fucking about 6 or 7 inches of it. This little choochie choochie ain't that big, honey. She ain't that big. Even when I had sex with like guys that are more willing down, like, if you're 9 or better, yay. I've touched it all, but all of it ain't been inside of me. I mean, a few times. Sometimes you got. I'm sorry. I got a minute left. I'm sorry, y'all. This ain't even about y'all. Y'all not gonna understand half of this fucking video because I'm literally just looking at myself being silly as fuck with myself today. But follow me. Follow me. I'm gonna wrap us up by making some sense of everything that we just was talking about. Honestly, guys, I am not a woman who looks down on sex workers. I am a sex worker, and over here we respect sex workers. Now, if you look at this, or if you come across this and you didn't know that I was a sex worker and that makes you change the way you see me, I completely respect it and understand it. I don't mind it. I actually get more endorphins of being around freaky sexual free people than I will ever get from being around prudish, all put together people. And so I really, truly don't give a fuck. But I love sexual things. I love sex. And this week I wanted to make sure that I just kind of like gave myself freedom to say, you know what I mean, in live and color in an immortalized state, because it's gonna get put on the internet. Not today, but Friday. Um, that I don't think there's anything wrong with sex, and I know that the world is so quick to call a person who enjoys sex hypersexual, and then right behind that is like, you must have been touched. I don't think there's anybody walking this world, especially a person of color, male or female, that has not experienced unwanted touch. A lot of y'all boys had y'all very first piece of pussy from a grown ass woman and you were a little boy. We've all experienced unwanted touch at some point in our lives. And I don't believe that unwanted touch can change your relationship with sex too much. It still will change it. Absolutely. Like, that's probably the reason that I prefer to masturbate than deal with other people, because I have dealt with people who maybe I wanted to start it with them, but then I started to not want it anymore and they didn't stop. I've experienced that a lot in relationships. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from this week, is like, you can love sex, because I love sex, and not need to feel like that takes away your value as a person. If you are a young girl and you know the beauty and the power of having an orgasm and you want to keep having them, you ain't wrong. An O a day, baby. And sometimes having an orgasm with another person is more exhausting than having an orgasm with yourself. So enjoy masturbation if you're watching this and you don't usually, okay? Um, for me, my sexual journey has been full of twists and turns and different people who are super amazing. I pulled out that one because I just feel like that's just such a story. Like, I can't, I can't talk to people about sex without letting them know that I've like climbed Mount Everest. Like, that's one of the biggest things I've ever seen in my life, let alone had in my body. But anyway, um, all of that to say, there is nothing wrong with being sexual, especially if you are a woman. I am so grateful that we live in a world where women are starting to wake up to themselves sexually, because we deserve it. Sexual energy is creative energy, and that's another thing. Like, I'm a creative person, so I'll have sex and then get up and think about a skit that I want to do, or think about a design that I want to make, or whatever, because release, that orgasm is a release that we need. Okay, you need it. If you watching this and you got a little attitude, it's because you ain't coming enough. One of my former friends used to have moments where she would like go celibate, and during those times she was a mean evil bitch to me, and I used to just want to be like, can you just go get some dick? Usually she went to go get some dick because she started being mean to her kids, but this is that's neither here nor there. We're gonna wrap up at 25 minutes. We're at 23 minutes. So with the last minute, I will say this. My sexual journey, it took me to realize that I don't need to put judgment on myself to truly enjoy sex for myself. As a woman, it is so easy to enjoy sex for other people. Beyond the fact that that young man had the penis the size of a fucking baby arm, sex with him was for me. To walk in the house and to have the things that tether you to the world, your phone, your purse, I used to wear an Apple Watch. The man would take the Apple Watch off my wrist. To untether a person from the world and then cater to their body from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet, is such a beautiful experience to have, to be on the receiving end of. And because of that, I do my best to give as well. You know what I mean? I make people feel cherished from the top of their heads to the bottom of their feet. What I also had to learn though is that I am a lot more disconnected than other people. And so I do that, and then when I not talk to a person for a few days, and people, they they get attached. So if I will leave you with anything, I will say know your level of attachment and be honest with people about it. Because now I'm letting people know, like, we probably about to have sex, like we in love, but I'm probably not gonna talk to you no more. Are you okay with that? And in a couple of situations, people have told me that they weren't, and I didn't have sex with them because I don't want to hurt anybody the way I've done in the past. Beyond anything else in life, if I can message anything this week, it is that sex can heal, but it can also hurt. And so be intentional about what you do with your body. Be intentional about what you do with other people's bodies. And be intentional about the way that you communicate both of those things. I love y'all. I had to get a little, because we got real giggly and girly this week. And I don't usually get giggly and girly. But sex makes me giggly and girly, especially big dicks, okay? But honestly, I had to make sure that I closed up with some real life education because it is very important to be intentional about sexual energy because in my opinion sexual energy is magical energy. That's the reason why I feel like it's connected to creativity. And so just be careful, sex responsibly. I had to learn that as well because I used to, whatever. Next week I'm gonna give you guys a trigger warning during the week, and now we're gonna talk about some pretty harsh times in my relationships. I wanted to kind of pillow the relationship talk. So we started with my great relationships. We put sex in the middle because sex is the meat in the middle of my sandwich. But then now next week we're going to talk about some not so happy times that I've experienced romantically and sexually that have brought me to where I am today. And I feel like that will wrap up kind of like my relationship talk. And then we're going to talk a little bit about me being a life coach. Love y'all. I love that we shifted my motherfucking vlog to me, honey, because I hope you have a good week. My computer just went off, which means that I need to get the hell up off of here and talk to y'all. Love y'all. I hope you have a good week and have a good weekend because it's Friday when you watching it.